Visa Bulletin just came out today, and there was a lot of anticipation for this Visa Bulletin. So let's just go through all the changes in the Visa Bulletin and see if there's any forward movement. So starting off with the family-based cases, unmarried children of US citizens, there is a change of 1 month for Mexican nationals, no change for Indian nationals or any other nationals. Spouses, unmarried children under the age of 21 of permanent residents, no change whatsoever. With reference to unmarried children of green card holders or permanent residents, change of 21 days, meaning it's moved 21 days for Mexico. And then for married children of US citizens, it's moved 1 year. There's a lot of movement for Mexico for some reason, no movement for India or China or any other country. Philippines has a 1 month forward movement. Siblings of US citizens, that is if you're a US citizen and you're filing for your brother, sister. India, there's a movement of 1 month and 7 days, and Mexico 3 months, Philippines 2 months. So that's the movement for US citizen if you're filing for your siblings. Now remember this, what we're talking about here is the dates for filing. There's not much change. As all of you know, in the Visa Bulletin, there are 2 categories of charts. One is dates for filing and one is final action dates. So in the final action date, there's not much movement. So we're only talking about dates for filing right now, and we're hoping that by tomorrow we will know if USCIS intends to use this dates for filing chart or not. The reason I'm saying there is a lot of forward movement is because as we're coming to the employment-based, we will see a big change. So coming to employment-based now, EB1, no change. So that's EB1 extraordinary ability, or if you're filing based on an L1. EB2 is where there is significant change. So for Indian nationals, it's moved up by 1 year. So it's moved from September 2013 to September 2014. So if you have a priority date that is on September 2014 or before, you can now get ready to file your 485 as of April 1st. So make sure you get everything ready. So that is the biggest change, I think, in this dates for filing chart for this month. It's been moving. EB2 India has been moving rapidly. It moved 4 months last month. It moved by 6 months in January, and now we're seeing a 1 year movement. So that's pretty significant. For EB3, there's not really much change. And other categories, there's not much change. So the main, I think, takeaway here for the Visa Bulletin is that all those who have EB2 cases, if you have downgraded in October, where most of you must have, a lot of people had EB2s to start off with, and then in October, since EB3 was a better date at that time, that had become current, a lot of people switched, downgraded their I-140 from EB2 to EB3. And so now for those people, if your date is current based on EB2, it would be a good time to interfile or file a duplicate 485, and you have to discuss with your attorney which one is better. Or if you have not filed at all and now your dates are current, it's of course a good time to file, for your EB2. So that's important. Now remember, one thing I forgot to mention is this is dates for filing, which I did mention that. So we have to wait and see whether this calendar is good or not. And I did mention earlier about interfiling. Please remember, you can only interfile based on final action dates. So we haven't got into the final action dates chart because there's not much change there's a 2 months change in EB2. So it's moved ahead 2 months for final action dates. So if your date is current, go ahead and do the interfiling. Or you can do a duplicate filing if you are only current based on dates for filing. Final action date, you can do interfiling or duplicate filing. If you're current only based on dates for filing charts, I know this is confusing, but for people who know what I'm talking about, they will understand. So if you are current based on dates for filing, then you can do only a duplicate filing. You cannot interfile. So we talked about interfiling earlier as to what it is. So interfiling is basically we're asking USCIS to use the other I-140 we have, and so that we don't have to refile the 485 all over again, use the existing 485 that we have. So that's, I think, the update. Also, please remember to get your documents ready. If, this dates for filing chart, if they say that we're able to use it, and I think we will be, because this chart has been in use for a few months now. Get all your documents ready, get your medicals ready before April 1st. There's a lot of work for you to do, so get your medicals ready. Make sure you have your birth certificates. If you don't have birth certificates, make sure you have birth affidavits from people who were present at the time of your birth, and these have to be notarized. If those people are in India, then it has to be notarized and on stamp paper. So there's some work to be done. Make sure you have all your I-94s, download them from the I-94 website, USCIS website, your marriage certificate if you're married, your children's birth certificates. That's the most important thing that people usually struggle with, medicals and birth certificates. The rest you should have, hopefully, with you. So, get everything ready. Talk to an attorney. I don't suggest filing yourself, because so many things can happen. Unpleasant things can happen if you do file yourself, and this is just heartfelt advice. Don't do it yourself. But find an attorney that's reasonable, and good, and is able to take up your work, because it has to be filed within a certain period of time. It has to be filed in the month of April. So you have 30 days or 31 days to file your case. So that's the update with reference to the Visa Bulletin, Tony.